going on, everybody? It's your boy at Big Game James _36. Um, Took a couple days off. A lot of stuff happened in the sports world since then. Um, wasn't wasn't feeling the best on Friday. I'm still recovering from that, from the tailgate. One thing I'll say is this: 37. Your 37 is not treating me as good as the other years. Like I don't know what's happening. If I'm officially, my body's
you're washed.
Yeah,
Is that what you're trying to avoid?
I've been washed for a minute, man, but like I think my body is literally telling me, like, yo, like we're not happy with you. Like random things hurt. Like, like right now, like I just woke up and my pinky toe hurts. Like, I don't know why. Like, one, being a diabetic, I was terrified. I was like, but I got a feeling in it. But just the outside of my pinky toe hurts. Like nothing else on my foot, just my pinky toe. And I'm trying to figure out, I don't know if that's a sign. Don't know what that means. Any of my doctor friends, feel free to let me know. Just like I'm about to let you know right now, this is the Sports Den brought to you by, Big Games BS, part of the Sports Den, brought to you by thehumidor.com. Go to thehumidor.com, type in Sports Den at checkout for 20% off. If you spend over $150, you get free shipping. So like that alone is worth. Like if you're gonna buy a box, you might as well buy a box. You're already getting it cheaper per. Then also on top of that, you're getting about 30% discount relative to other places and whatnot. So we'll do our normal catching up. Like I don't know, Bobby, you seem to be traveling all over the world, doing your thing with comedy stuff. Anything interesting? All over Duval. Listen, that's the world or something. Yeah. You'd be surprised at how many people never got outside.
I mean, I still have never been on a plane. So I mean, yeah, I've been doing a lot of shows, man. I'm always in the comedy community now, more so than I used to be, doing something every night. I performed in a new room Saturday night, 8 p.m. It was a Veterans Craft Brewery was the place. It was called Comedy on Tap. So that was dope. I had a guest spot on that show. So that's one of the shows where it's like not like the open mics. You gotta be recommended by the other mic hosts and runners. They're like, oh, this kid's been doing my shows. He's pretty good, kind of thing. So that was dope. The crowd liked me. I got some clips and some good film out of that. And then went over to the Comedy Zone. Anthony Rodia was in town. Him and a guy named Goomba John, which obviously names. I know names, but other people don't. But look it up. Very nice to me, man. They were just talking to me about getting to New York and the clubs that the people who came with him running and stuff like that. So I may or may not have some my first New York shows coming later this year. I'm gonna go over there. So
look at you.
Yeah, man.
Look at you, man. You was ready a couple weeks ago, man. Bobby was beside himself.
What do you mean?
This man was in tears. Not just joking. He wasn't that, man.
Honestly, no.
He wasn't Bobby. He wasn't happy Bobby. And now Bobby's happy. And I like this Bobby. I like happy Bobby.
So what's crazy? What if happy Bobby is just I'm performing because we're on camera? What if that was really me? And
I be honest with you, I don't give a damn. I don't want to see that. The Bobby that you, whatever the other one,
keep performing.
Like I deal with that all the time. People are like, oh, Jim, when I tell them, or if I get in a dark place, they're like, yo, but it's like I'm always like this. Well, we don't want to see that shit. We want the person that makes us feel better about ourselves, whether it's at your dispense or all these things. What you'll learn is in this business, nobody cares. Mm-hmm. But it's the beautiful thing though. It's like you have the opportunity to bring joy or pain to somebody else. Sometimes both feel good. Sometimes at the same time.
Yeah.
And nobody really gives a damn what you're going through. As one of my coaches used to say, I don't want to hear about the damn pregnancy. Just show me the baby. It sucks.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things.
But it's going great, man. It's going good. I'm getting some more shows. But May 5th, I got a show in Jax Beach at a Ink Factory. I've been posting that on my social medias and stuff like that. So
what time is that?
I believe it's like 8 o'clock. Let me pull up the flyer.
Shit, I can't go. Well, I hope I won't be able to go. Not in a bad way. Not if I'm here, I'll be there.
No, that's all good,
but,
man.
Bowls, that's the first day of the final.
Yeah, you're doing your thing.
So, man. But if I'm not there, if we lose or get upset, then I'll be down that way.
I got like a insane amount of views on my clips that I'm posting, like with like handing out flyers and stuff after the shows, and the commercials I've been making for the Comedy Zone. I'm getting a lot better at that. So that's all I have for the comedy world and what I've got going on. But yeah, I've been very busy.
That's good. Me too. Not doing comedy, making the world happy, seeing the world melt, seeing the world get sad. This weekend, we being the Sports Den in fifth quarter, the college news publication that I run, got a chance to announce a signing, a commitment to possibly the greediest current new dynasty that's probably going to start in the University of Georgia. I love Kirby. Shout out to Kirby Smart. At the same time, fuck you, Kirby, because this kid was committed to Florida State. It gave Harris really, really good 4-star defensive end out of Valdosta, Georgia. Got a chance to interview him on Thursday, and I had to keep my mouth shut all that time. But it was easy to keep my mouth shut during that time because Florida State was in the middle of other breaking news that me in the fifth quarter were putting up with Amarius Mims. And that's how we're going to really start off the show, that there was so much joy, so much loveliness. It was fun to be around FSU fans again. People were poking their chest out. And then it showed how quickly recruiting and coaching searches can change on a whim.
Yeah.
And to not bury the lead, and I'll backtrack to what happens. Amarius decided that he wanted to stay in the University of Georgia. So we did not get a commit.
Which I didn't know that you could do. I thought once you enter the portal, you got to leave.
No, it's up to the school to keep you. Here's what happens. They have to honor your scholarship for a year anyway. So in theory, he's on, well, they don't have to give you summer, but they got to give you a fall and a winter or fall and the spring stipends. So it doesn't benefit them to not let him come back. Plus, he's a talent. When he entered the portal, nobody was like, Georgia was legit upset. They really did not want this young man to leave. And he left anyway to go test the waters. And when he tested the waters, the first place that he went was to Florida State, where he had a great relationship with Florida State's offensive coordinator, offensive line coach, Alex Atkins. And he developed that relationship back when he was at University of Charlotte, when Mims was just like a 6'7", 230-pound prospect. He was not the 5-star that we now recognize in that potential first-round draft pick. But Atkins saw that, developed a relationship with the parents. It was a really, really good thing going. I want all FSU fans to realize that what you did for this kid was what we need to see done on a regular basis. Rising Spear, which is one of FSU's name, image, and likeness companies, got a lot more donations, a lot more people up there. FSU came on par with a good enough name, image, and likeness deal. It wasn't about the money, because you ever just meet, and I say this because you said you haven't been on an airplane before, right?
No.
So these kids, people ain't never been, mama don't fly. Like, when I tell you based on the descriptions that I got, this you ever just meet country ass people?
Yes.
Like, they're some of the best people. I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, a lot of people say, oh, you a bad man. Country ass people are just the best. Their wealth is different than like the wealth you see in Miami or LA. Like, they value tractors. They value whereas you want a Beamer, Benz, or Bentley, they want an F-250 diesel. Like, it's just funner. Like, just think of it as a child. If you're growing up, let's say in a city, like, just say you're growing up here in Jacksonville, as a little kid, would you have more fun just in this 10,000 plus square foot house inside of a country club that you can't really go out? Or if you just went out to the country and your parents gave you like some BB guns, or you had a stick, or you just running around with your friends. I know how I grew up. We would much rather the grass. Now, as an adult, give me the 10,000 square foot crib.
Yeah.
But I'm an adult. I have family that I love, But if I could put them on one side of the house and never see them until it's time for dinner, then I'd be great with that. But like, to go back to it. So like when I was hearing the stories on Wednesday, right after we finished our last show here, you know, they were like, yeah, on Tuesday, they were like, he's coming here Wednesday afternoon. He'll be here Wednesday afternoon. The reports were that he was going to Miami from Thursday through Sunday. And there was no even reports of him even coming to Tallahassee. But then my connections were, and shout out to AMC in the fifth quarter, who we got on and did a quick pod as well. I believe it was Thursday or Friday. But we were just discussing the situation and the scenario. It had to be it was Thursday, my bad. So I'm hearing that all the other publications are reporting that he's not even coming. Like your reputables, Florida State fans, the ones that bash the smaller outlets that said like you got to wait for them to give you the heads up. We're saying that this kid wasn't coming until one made the huge fuck up, and that's War Chant, the oldest of all of them.
Yeah.
So imagine ESPN like feeling so bad that they didn't get the beat on FS1, on Fox Sports, on all these other people that they really just start making up news. Like, and what happens is in some of the group chats I'm in, and I get those people will screenshot the message boards, and I cannot confirm nor deny if this happens in fifth quarter as well. But I'll read it and I'll just be like, that's not even remotely close to what's happening. Or I've learned from having to be part of the Gordon Rules, Florida rights generation of Floridians, where you have to write these big ass essays to be able to to even be able to go move on to your grad level. I mean, to your not masters, your major classes at Florida State. You had to take Gordon Rule classes, meaning like each you had to write 3,000 words. Like each you had to take like 4 or 5 classes with 3,000 words. There's not a topic that deserves that many words. So you have to learn how to write, how to fluff things up. You have to learn how to say shit without saying it.
Yeah.
Or say shit without saying anything. Actually, let me rephrase that. And so when I read, I'm like, oh, they're not saying shit. They don't know shit. So it was a lot of things that I was reading where it's just absolutely, they weren't saying a goddamn thing. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's not only is that not what happened, it's taking what other people have reported and putting your own words on it. It's kind of like the equivalent of, here, just copy off my homework. Just make sure nobody else notices.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what War Chant did.
It's like you're adding on to a group project.
Right.
You know?
The only matter of fact, that's exactly
like you just
War
passed
Chant. It was a group project between all the major things and fifth quarter, because I don't consider us a major. We're a disruptor at fifth quarter. You had fifth quarter, then I'll say no game day, 247, which has really, shout out to my guy Josh Newberg. They have literally figured out a way to, and I'm not hating, they will get clicks off of saying the same goddamn story over and over and over and over again. They'll put a tweet up, click here for more information on the MIM situation. Click no updates available at this moment. That's the update. Is that there are no updates available at this moment, and it'll get thousands of clicks. And you can't even hate on that. As opposed to what War Chant did was read 247, no game day, fifth quarter stuff, and then surmise and put their own thing together. So Wednesday was a good night. There was a dinner that happened. And I know there was a major pundit was hitting up one of our guys for information on where that dinner was taking place. Please don't challenge us, because we will put the receipts out there if you need to challenge the fifth quarter, because we have the receipts, sir. We know it's you. I'm not even going to say who it is, but you know who did you know what to you know who. But we'll just keep that between me and you. They go out, and the dinner was great. Phenomenal. War Chant goes out and says he's committed. Now, this kid we know is on document to stay through Saturday. Nobody commits on the first day. Well, actually, you may, because as I've jokingly said, when I was being recruited, I committed 5 times. There's 5 visits you could go on. I committed all 5 times. That's just how much fun I had. But you typically wait until after it, let the kid make the announcement. They've got to edit. A coach will put out some vague tweet that's like with the horse and everything, like Coach Norvell. But so War Chant puts that out, and man, it's one of those situations where I know exactly what how they did it. I was gassed into making my statement about Bob Stoops by Denny because I never say speak in absolutes when it comes to recruiting and coaching searches because the only absolute is that there is no absolute. And they went out way on a limb, and it was just wow because I was just like, damn, and the people I know in the room were livid because they're having to deal with this in real time because the kid didn't want any announcement. So that was the first hiccup in this situation. The second hiccup, and even getting before we get to that, the fact that Florida State was even in play for Mims is a matter of all the planets and the stars and the moons coming into alignment. Like he's like third string at Georgia. He is a generational talent. He was just tired. Had a great relationship with Coach Atkins. I can speak with absolute certainty he was not going anywhere else. Like there was no Orlando. There was no Miami visit. The man was literally scared. And I'm going to tell you why I can speak with absolute certainty because this goes back to the countryness of these people. So he was booked from Friday through Saturday. I don't know where Blakely, Georgia is in relationship to Tallahassee, but I do know where Tallahassee is in relationship to Miami. That's 8 hours.
Yeah.
I do know where Tallahassee is in relationship to Orlando. That's about, depending on who's driving, about 4 to 5 hours, depending on what part of Orlando you're going to. I've made those trips quite frequently.
We took our first road trip together. I'm going to interrupt so quick. You don't drive as fast as you look.
Like, well, no, I had another person.
Like you look like you would drive a lot faster than you were actually driving.
I had you in the car, and it was not my car, and I don't like if I'm in the F-150.
Yeah, this is
we
took a trip to Tallahassee for the big game and tailgate together.
No, now if you wouldn't, I could get there. And I'm older now. Hour and 45 minutes to the other side of Tallahassee is my fastest that I've ever got.
All right, that's wild.
Which is
I'm not saying speed. I'm just saying you look like someone who would have drove faster.
But what I say is this: is Southern anybody who's grown around real country people, or we all know this family. I'm gonna give a family at Florida State that's kind of like that, but they're new country. I go with my guy OG Rob DeLoach. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where Mama DeLoach drives. Doesn't mean that Mama DeLoach can't drive. I believe Mama DeLoach is probably a hell of a driver. But if they come in as a family, and OG Rob ain't letting Mama DeLoach do anything without him necessarily needing to be there to make sure that there's oversight. And not in a bad way. I'm just saying this is just some Southern gentleman type shit. The mama drive everywhere, bro. I mean, the daddy drive everywhere. They drove. Mama ain't never been on a plane. So when Miami fans were like, he's coming to Miami afterwards, and I'm sitting here looking at this, if they're checked in till Saturday, there's no way in fucking hell that man, I don't give a damn how much you love your wife, is going to drive 8 hours to get to Miami.
Yeah, you didn't think he was ever going.
To turn right back around and drive. So again, maybe there was, but one could use this thing that you learn when you get into, I believe it's pre-algebra, it's called deductive reasoning. Or one could deduce that just time. Now, there's another caveat in this. Mama don't miss church on Sunday. I didn't even realize what Sunday this was. Because again, I'll miss church. But Mama wasn't going to miss. If Mama was going to miss any Sunday service, it damn sure ain't going to be Resurrection Sunday or Easter. It definitely ain't going to be Easter. She going to be in there dressed in white or whatever colorful colors that people wear on Easter. She's gonna be on front row at her pastor's church. Listen to her pastor.
More like yellow and pink.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, yellow.
But
pink,
you're not going. I thought
green.
men wore the bright colors and women wore.
No.
Okay, well, listen. It's been a minute since I've been.
I mean, men step out too, but
I know we gonna wear some color because that was the one thing I used to enjoy when I did go to church with my mama was watching all the colorful suits that people wore, or you have your Easter Sunday suit, but. Mama went missing Sunday. So again, let's go with this. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, they were to leave Tallahassee at midnight. Saturday morning. First clock strikes the 12 o'clock on the head. You get there at 8 a.m. to take a visit. Let's say Blakely is like 4 hours away from Tallahassee. So you got a 12-hour trip. You're not finna just, that means you have to turn right back around because mama not missing church. And typically, if mama not gonna miss church, you know who else? So daddies in the South don't gotta be a deacon. You don't have to be a pastor. You don't have to go to church every Sunday. But there's about 4 Sundays you're gonna go to church. And this is on my goddad Herb. You ain't gonna see Herb at church every Sunday. You're gonna see Christmas, Mother's Day, Easter, and for whatever reason, they force your ass to go to church on Father's Day. That's your day, but Father's Day ain't your day. Father's Day is the day for everybody else to tell you, to force you to do things that you don't want to do for them to show that you appreciate them. But really, all you want to do is just relax. Run around your house in your drawers with the air conditioner turned all the way down. Nobody really understands that men want this because, anyway, so I'm giving you all this background to let you know that, and this could probably be the title of the show, and Kirby Smart embodied this. It's always get your girl back season. And what does this mean? This means that no matter what's happened, if you put in more than 65% of your stroke game, you got a shot to get this woman back at any given point of your life. I don't want her, but I do have full confidence that if something ever were to happen to me in life, and I just so happen to need to go get my high school sweetheart, I guarantee I could go back and get it. Don't want it. Damn sure don't want my daughter's mother. She's crazy as shit. But I do know that she's married now too. Yeah. But I do know I'm cool where I'm at.
So,
but
who got the, like, what are you referencing to?
So this is what I'm referencing it to. Mims is George's Mims' ex, but that's a damn good ex though. That's the billionaire boyfriend. The billionaire boyfriend that is really, really nice, man. Like, women say a lot of stuff of what they won't deal with, but being cheated on is easier to deal with. It's easier to deal with when it's in the 10,000 square foot mansion. Yeah. It's harder to deal with when you're in a 1-bedroom studio apartment. So what happened was, and this is the unfortunate part, so I'm not making light of this. Mims had a high school teammate tragically pass while they were on their visit. They abruptly had to leave the visit to go handle that. That's a family situation. Now, what I need y'all to think about is, what would Future do? Kirby's my guy, but Kirby is extremely toxic. You send the flowers, you send the condolences, you send the well wishes, you send the entourage to make sure that the person knows that you're loved. And all jokes aside, a lot of people are making a lot of comments that have never been in a locker room before, have never been recruited, have never been a part of a signing class, have never thought about transferring, or never seen friends enter the transfer portal or seen friends transfer. I have been involved in all of those things. You know what happens when you spend a considerable amount of time of your first 2 years of your first 2 years of true adulthood with the same people? You create bonds, you create connections. You like these people. It is difficult to leave, even when you feel hurt. And all jokes aside, think about the one thing that I think people belittle relationships when they say stuff. Why didn't you just leave? Well, if it were that easy, you would do it, right? But a lot of the times is that person knows things about you. There's a connection. There was a bond that was formed, and that's what's difficult to deal with and come out of. And right now, Marius Mims has taken his name out of the transfer portal. He's come back. And this is how good the kid was. He didn't practice all spring at Georgia. And Georgia still wanted him back. And I think it's a situation that fans, rivals are gonna troll no matter what. But it was us or Georgia. It was us or nobody, I guess, really in a way to say it, to speak on the Mims situation. I can't speak of him going to Orlando. I know nothing of that. That has not been told to me by people who are close to him or any other situations. But I can speak for a fact that Miami had no definitive plans, and that once Georgia was able to, nobody saw, because normally once you hit the transfer portal, most people don't get out of the transfer portal. And I think nobody really looked at the fact that what if he just wants to go? What if Georgia comes back into play? And that was a misstep on FSU's part. But I will say it wasn't a misstep on Rising Spirit. They stepped to the plate. Wasn't a misstep on the players. They stepped to the plate. But now what's going to happen is this. And what's aggravating in all of this is the over discussion and the misrepresentation as to what NIL is. This is consistent. What NIL is, who NIL is for, and how much money is actually being made by these guys. Because now what Florida State's got to deal with is what the players that are already there just witnessed. What they just witnessed was the perception of hundreds of thousands of dollars being thrown at a guy who is not with them currently. And these new guys getting the money while the current guys aren't. And this is where the jealousy does come into play. But I think if people were if the adults, the reputables, the people who are consuming the content in the media would take a step back to actually listen to how an NIL deal works, what needs to happen to even get an NIL deal, and also like what this shit really means and what it really is. And start teaching kids. The thing I talked to Bobby about this, trying to get your dream going. What's your real number? And what does it take to make you happy? Yeah, everybody would like to make $5,000 to $10,000 a month, but that shit ain't realistic. Not in the beginning. Is your number $2,500? Is it $1,500? What can you make to get by? Once you start from there and you got your actual floor covered and you're playing for the joy of the game, because at the end of the day, it's not about just getting the NIL. You don't go to college to just get a fucking NIL deal. You go to college to go about the NFL. And I think right now, too many people are losing focus and losing sight of that. Focus on the fucking NFL and the NIL will come. And it's being lost in translation right now.
Do you think this makes FSU recruiting look bad? There's a lot of people outroarish about, how we need recruiters in there. They got to do better about actually landing stuff inside of, people getting flipped out.
I think this combined with the Travis Hunter situation just make for really, really bad optics. But look at who Florida State lost to. So everybody wants to make it Jackson State is a HBCU, right? One, they landed two really big prospects in this cycle. Kevin Coleman out of St. Louis, 5-star wide receiver. They landed 5-star athletes. That's unprecedented. But look who landed them. So primetime, Deion Sanders is, if NIL would have been around when Deion was playing, Deion would have been a multimillionaire in college. It's just what it is. So what happened is the guy who kids strive to be like, a man who's been retired for decades now, or at least over a decade. But he still be primetime. Kids still doing the dance. That's who you lost to. You didn't lose to Jackson State. You lost to Deion fucking Sanders telling the kid that I'm going to show you how to be me. In an NIL space that's about being marketable.
Yeah.
Like
you lost to his dream situation.
Right.
The
it's like
situation.
It was the perfect fucking storm. You weren't losing him to Miami. You weren't losing him to be honest with you. And I don't mind this. It's actually might get into my second topic. Something we wanted to talk about last week, but we didn't. You didn't all PWIs lost that day. You all lost because it shows that HBCUs are relevant. It can step up to the table and provide name, image, and likeness. And when I talked to the guys who are at Rising Spear about losing the situation, I said, there's no need to be mad at Deion. There's no need to be mad at Barstool Sports with David Portnoy, however you say his name. No, because we had every opportunity to see the same exact thing in that young man as they allegedly did. And we did not make that pitch. All they did was give him basically an online diary where he got paid. He got executive producer credits for it. So what happens is when you get executive producer, you own the rights to it. You could either sell it to a Barstool or a Netflix or somebody like that, and then it's their job to go and find the money to be able to pay you through advertising or whatever other funnels or channels that they can get from that. They all have a specific amount of money. And when people are like, what if he fails? If let's say the money was really $1 million, hell, he hit the transfer portal, go somewhere else. But what if he doesn't fail? What if he actually hits it? And what if it becomes a big deal? Then the second contract is always larger than the first contract. So there's a lot of what ifs that could be bad, but the what ifs that were good outweighed it. But again, it was the perfect storm. What happens to here right now? Why do I say George is the billionaire boyfriend or billionaire husband? Because they're fresh off of a national championship. They arguably, from an offensive standpoint, will be more talented next year, especially if Carson Beck, shout out to 6 points, gets a chance to be the starter. Their offense is exponentially better. And you're in an SEC school that treats their fucking alumni way better than Florida State does. If you're a Georgia Bulldog alumni with that national championship ring, you'll always have a place to go in Athens. Guaranteed. Most of Georgia. All Florida State does at times is offer headaches for former players. But this kid right here will also probably still get his dream of being in the NFL. Now, he did come to Tallahassee. He noticed something different, and he got a chance to experiment. Sometimes you just need you need new pussy. Oh. And that's what he went to go see. That's what you got at home is the best. And I hate to describe my school like that. But until we start acting appropriately as a fan base and on the field.
So I'll get your pH balance right.
Till we get our pH right. Need to become a fucking vegan.
I hate that.
Drink some alkaline water.
Miles is so disappointed.
Flush your system. Run around here with bad cat.
Drink some pineapple juice. Florida
yeah, just cranberry juice. That's you smelling. It ain't nobody else. But no, all jokes aside, but that's like real. Like this is I'm literally reading these tweets, and it's sickening to my stomach that people are really this bothered by the kid. Now I get being pissed at War Chant. I get being pissed at a lot of stuff, but like, yo, it's the day after Easter, man. Like, go chill out. Steal some of your kids' candy. There's really good benefits. Like, there's a bunch of boiled eggs out here on the market right now, man. Your breakfast should be top of the notch right now for the next couple of days. But, that's my thoughts on that. Transitioning into, we talked about HBCUs. This Grambling situation is wild. We talked about it a couple shows ago. If you don't know, is it Grambling University, whatever, Grambling, like in Louisiana, Grambling State, they hired a new head volleyball coach. Definitely looked like she's of my age. I would, if you're in Grambling and you step out to the old folks club, you're going to see their volleyball coach there getting after it. I bet she knows how to wobble. She cut the entire team. Now, what they said was they gave a tryout, but one of their star players stepped up and just really went in, discussed everything that actually happened and what did not happen. And to summarize it, she says that it was 5 girls invited to this tryout. I think 4 showed up, and it was not a volleyball drill done. All they did was do sprints. They just and it was just not a great overall look.
Conditioning day?
Yeah, they just did conditioning. And it's weird because here's what she said. I found it. As a veteran on the team, I can no longer stay quiet. I must speak out for myself and my teammates. The decision made by the athletic director, AD Scott, and new head coach Lucas was classless, vindictive, and disrespectful act toward the entire Grambling volleyball program. They attempted to paint an ugly picture of the Lady Tigers, but I will no longer stay quiet for them to do so. I am a President's List athletic scholar and performed academically and athletically to retain my scholarship, and for someone to take it away of taking away my way of gaining an education is nothing less of a cruel act. I have played the sport of volleyball since I was 6. I had the opportunity to go to PWIs. Now that's what I'm going to come back to. But I chose Grambling. The love I have of my university and my peers is endless, but to be done dirty by a Southern University product, which is their rival, and a disgraceful Grambling alum that intentionally came to destroy my teammates is absolutely painful. I feel stuck. As a double major and a senior, I do not have the ability to transfer without losing credits. This will delay entrance to medical school and place unwanted stress and financial burden on my single parent mother. Mentally, I'm boggled. Never did I think my dear Grambling would allow this type of travesty, but Scott, Lucas, and Howard has placed restraints on my life. My experience at Grambling is not supposed to be this way. The uproar has caused me to feel drained, emotionally heartbroken, overwhelmed, and stressed and sick to my stomach. My mom has been the only support through this fight and has comforted me through prayer and Bible scriptures, but the financial burden and the stress she will be obtaining to ensure I finish my education at Grambling has me torn. My scholarship was my way to obtain an education and financial stability. Now, she goes on to say, not only does she want them to step down, she wants them to basically apologize with the same energy that they came out to kind of just kind of tear them down. And now what do I want to say with this? Now, we just talked about two young men that went to Jacksonville State. Not the first two. Won't be the last two. Not the first to even take visits. I went to 2 HBCUs on visits. But I get in this argument annually where people love to use football players and athletes, in particular old people. Actually, there's a quote that says, "Wars are started by old men, but the young men die for them." For whatever reason, everybody loves their HBCUs until it's time to show up and show out for them. HBCUs have been getting the ass whipping game done to them since I can remember. As a young boy going with my godfather Herb, who I just brought up, taking me and my godbrother Steven to go see FAMU play the University of Miami and get destroyed 100-0, but getting $1 million payouts for this. So you've got decades of things, and then what have we seen for them? Facilities lag behind. You see fans only show up to homecoming. You see more emphasis put on the band than on the people who the band is brought out to. But this is what we hear. We hear people say, why do these black boys choose to go to these PWIs to be taken advantage of? And what I always say to this is, exploitation is exploitation regardless of what the color is. What you see right now is, and again, bigger than that, we have heard the stories of misusing financial aid. And I'm not bashing HBCUs to say that this doesn't happen anywhere else. But what I will not do is subjugate myself just because we are the same color. Again, even during slavery, just because the field man was black and he had to whip, the motherfucker still had to whip. It was whipping you for being out of line. The same problems that Florida A&M students deal with today are the same problems that my mother dealt with as an undergrad in 1980. You should want better for your children by demanding better. There should be more steps in plan. And what happens is because it's bullshit, because we all know the story of people who do have family members that don't get their financial aid messed with. But we also know the stories of the students who are getting evicted because either their financial aid check bounced, or they did not receive it until midway through the semester. Whereas I know at the PWI that I attended, I got my check a week early. And on top of that is if they saw I had financial aid money, I could go borrow against the financial aid money that I was going to get for $10. If I really needed $1,000, I can go in there and get it. Now, those are just some of the things, but tying this into this, if this were to happen at a PWI, we would see Al Sharpton, we would see Ben Crump, we would see everybody and their mama coming out arguing about how unfair it is, which it truly is. But instead, I see a Facebook post that kind of went viral. I've yet to see one person come up, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. But to quote, to quote Louis Farrakhan, if my rhetoric is too strive, who better to correct me than my own brothers and sisters? If I need to be held in line or refined, who better than to do it than the members of my own crew? What I mean by that is, if we can't hold ourselves accountable, who the fuck are we to talk about other things? If this was Trey, please believe there wouldn't be actually there'd be guns drawn. Because at the end of the day, if I entrusted my kid to come to your university to get the black experience, to get training, I expect him or her to be treated in a manner that is way different than what I would expect them to be treated from somewhere else. Especially if they are doing the service of going to your athletic institution, your athletic academic institution, when we had other choices. This is not an indictment or saying that HBCUs are bad. What it's saying is this is why you can't consistently get the more high-end guys unless they're getting an NIL deal. See, what happens is I can send my son, if he's Travis Hunter, to Jackson State, and if he's not being taken care of, I know we got 6 figures here, and I can close the gap. But if you want other elite athletes to do the same thing, you've got to do better. On top of the fact that the coach you hired lost to these girls that you allowed to cut. And at the end of the day, there should have been there was a way to work around all of this. You can honor, we see it at PWIs a lot too. You can honor the scholarships and just the academic scholarship, but just don't let them play athletics. There's ways to go around this, man. But to ask a senior who is almost done, who's doing everything they want to do, that's academically elite, to just quit and figure it out is cruel. And again, we can't expect our people to take the risk and take the gambles that we aren't willing to take a risk and a gamble. And I say this because it could happen at any other institution. And right is right. And one of these days we'll get right is right and wrong is wrong, man. And that's my 2 cents on that one.
All right.
Now, right is right and wrong is wrong. This is a heavy transition. I think I'm doing good today.
yeah. You're on the right.
There is a right and a wrong way to both love somebody and to talk to a coach. And there's right and wrong ways to raise your family and be in sports. So I'm going to try to tie all these things together. My weekend, again, the most exciting part of my weekend was my son's team blew out the team.
They blew out who?
They blew out some kids. I don't know.
Nice.
We abuse children. But there are 2 teams that are really good that they have the upper hand on us right now. We should have won all the times, but those teams are older, well coached. And when you're in a battle in games, sometimes everybody don't get to play. And they definitely don't get to play to the way that the parents would like them to play.
Yeah.
The problem in team sports is there's a coach. And the coach's job is to dictate who is good enough to play, when they can play. And sometimes there are things that coaches hold against kids. A lot of times it's not. Especially when you're not getting paid enough to care. And I don't get paid at all.
Yeah.
The honest God's truth, the only reason I coach this team is because nobody else would. And my son needed a coach.
Yeah.
So I coached. I have yet to ever have a problem as consistently as I've had with parents complaining about their child than I have had this season. And it came to a head, and I'm not going to go into too many details, but I actually really thought that I was going to go viral because I thought that they were going to post a video of me.
What did you do?
Well, a lot of things could have happened. This is the first thing I learned. I am not the type. So my daughter's mother is toxic. very extremely toxic. Jada type toxic. She would have let me do this. I would have done the Will Smith. Not because, now, granted, I didn't walk to this parent. This parent came to me.
Oh,
That
wow.
part.
Okay.
So I want to make sure this is preface. But, so they were already treading on thin ice. So free game by big game. You never talk to a coach during a game or right after a game about playing time or your child. The appropriate time is after the game. Like probably wait 24 to 48 hours after the game. Cooler heads have prevailed. You're out of the competition mindset. It's an easier way to like you can actually jot down some key points that you want to ask. So you're direct and specific. It's also not as you also do it in an area where it's not confrontational. Like you come to the office, you do some things. Hey, coach, I would like to talk about my son. Woo, woo, woo. Well, parents have been consistently doing this. And I asked them, don't talk to me about it during the game. So they come up because it's halftime. Obviously, they're not used to sports because they don't know that halftime is a part of the game.
Yes.
We're not playing, but we're in the game. Like we're about to start again.
Yeah.
And he decides to say, hey, I need to know why my son's not playing and why he's only got 2 snaps. Now the kid interjects. Dad, I'm playing. I don't know what you're talking about, Dad. I'm playing. And the kid's about to play the entire, because we're where we need to be.
Yeah.
The kid's about to play a lot, and he actually wasn't playing back. Dad came here, and I said, hey, man, he's playing, and then now he's arguing. And I'm like, man, I just, like, dude, I told you about coming, let's not do this during the game. The mom decides to come over. It's halftime. I said, I don't give a fuck. So I did curse in front of the kids. I don't care about that part. I cuss in front of my own goddamn kids.
Yeah.
I tell parents that in the beginning. If that offends you, let's go ahead and try to work this out, get you another team. But this is how I talk. Like, if you don't like that,
he's not constantly doing it.
Yeah, I don't cuss people out. Well, I do cuss people out. I don't cuss like that. It's just it's a well-placed punctuation mark.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're not getting it through, me saying it, put it like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 3 ways I've tried before I just go to the straight point.
Yeah.
They flourish in this system, though. The kids aren't complaining. I've got 9 happy fucking parents. I've got 1 unhappy parent. And I'm trying to explain to him. And then he's like, this is supposed to be a fun league and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not finna have this. So I helped them with the Karen move. I call management over to them. And then I tell them to their face, it's not going to happen the way that you think it's going to happen. Because they can't fire me from a job that I don't work for.
Yeah.
That's what he says, yes.
And I said, so if you want to tell them, and I was like, hey, they either need a refund, another team, or how about this? I just quit and you coach. And I wasn't doing that as a flex, right? And I'm telling you the clean version. Now, it was some fucking aggression in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Buddy did roll up on me, and this is what I mean by not having a toxic woman in your life and why this is important to men. Whether you're dating her, whether it's you're married, your baby's mom, your mother, somebody's got to know your nonverbals to where it could pop off.
Yeah.
And I guess there's been enough time in there where my nonverbals was clearly showing. Allegedly, I balled my fist up. That's a clear nonverbal. And then my hand got grabbed. And it did take me, it took me down a couple notches.
Yeah.
Because you can't just walk up into my space when I'm in my element and then expect me to react to you in a certain way. But not when I said I was going viral, because I was going to punch him. I definitely came down to that. Luckily, again, I got to calm down.
Yeah.
Please don't punch him in front of your sons. But 2, I was going off. I went off on the people. And they're like, he's going off like a madman. And here's what irks me. Here's what irks me about, you know what? You know what? Fuck it.
Go ahead.
Fuck
say
it. Because if my guy can say nigga on 37 times, I can say cracker once.
Oh, I didn't know the way.
These aren't pilgrims.
Yes.
I fucks with pilgrims, man.
Whew.
Pilgrims, I love a fucking pilgrim, man. But this motherfucker right here, that's what these was. They was the C words. And I know, and when I'm saying it, I am meaning it with a full intent. I'm not talking about saltines or grams. That's what I meant by that person right there.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna act like you white people when y'all get caught saying that word that you didn't know what it meant. Now I know fully what I meant by that. Because when they initiate and instigate, they don't want to catch that on camera.
Thank you.
They want to catch me. Now I'm mad, and I'm telling you now. Luckily, and then they went around. And now what happens is they don't only try to get people on camera; they're trying to get other parents on their side. And this is how you know they're wrong. Because I got white, black. I don't even know what Zayden is. He's something, but he might be mixed. I don't know what. I don't know whatever.
Yeah.
Not all the other parents like, y'all like this? Like, yeah, we actually enjoy him coaching our kids. He cusses people out in front of the kids. Kids love him. Though. Like, kids like him.
Yeah.
He's like, they're like, you need to leave if you have a problem.
Yeah.
All the parents are literally telling that one parent, yo, we sick of your shit.
Yeah.
So that's what I told him, and I may not have given him my full act.
Yeah. I feel like, wait, you didn't give him your full what?
I told him, like, when you post this shit, make sure
What'd you say?
you add Big Game James _36 because it's not gonna end the way that you wanted to end.
Yeah.
Trust me, because if they would have posted it, what's gonna happen now is gonna be bullying. Because here's the crazy thing, and this is why, and they could, and I wouldn't have been mad at I9. And what I was telling them is, you guys have a business, right? You have to run your business, and if I'm out of pocket, don't let me mess up the business for that. I don't ever do anything intentionally, but what I won't be is disrespected. So, like, I'm gonna show my son's got a chance to see how daddy operates. See, daddy gonna give it to you as professionally as possible. I'm gonna enunciate my words. I'm gonna talk to you with some sense. But see, the problem is that daddy has a daddy that the little bit of influence he had him, he thrives in ignorance. James Sr. is an ignorant motherfucker. And the problem about James Jr. or James II, excuse me, is that he thrives off of ignorance too. He just tries to, I try to like give this perception. My oldest son is what I aspire to be. It's what I want the world to feel like I am. He's smooth, he's well-spoken.
He don't smile.
He doesn't smile. He doesn't smile. But he is the type of kid that you want everybody around. Now, he does have he clicks. He goes, that's the terrifying part, is that we don't know when he clicks, but when he clicks, he can click.
Yeah.
The reality is, I'm like my 3-year-old. Killer is fucking crazy. And I have to find this balance. And the beautiful thing about being a dad is I'm trying to help coach these two young, great individuals through this life that they don't even understand why they act the way they act. They just act.
Yeah.
They are. But like, these people really like, and I feel bad for the dad too.
You feel bad for the dad?
I'm gonna tell you why I feel bad for the dad. Because again, toxic. His bitch is toxic.
Yeah, she was.
What would have got me? See, again, the hand grab, little subtle hand grab. I'm telling you, it was a little subtle hand grab saved a lot, because that would have went viral. And I would have been like, you know what? I earned that shit. Because one thing I don't do is I don't get in disagreements like that with women that I don't know. And I started to say, like, dude,
yeah, it was gonna
between two men.
Yeah.
It's between, like, why are you here? Why are we having this discussion? But he got gassed up because he's afraid to be a dad and to be the man in that young boy's life. He allowed two women to almost get his ass whooped. And at the end of the day, he would have been some merch.
So he was
all over the fact that he couldn't be a man and tell his baby mama, let my son be coached.
Yeah, yeah.
Or wait 5 fucking minutes so where your son can play the whole second half.
Yeah. So I was going to say, did he end up getting in the game?
He got in the game. I don't hold shit against kids, man.
Yeah, nah.
I don't hold nothing against kids. I had a game plan. We were doing well. He got in. He actually has been performing better. And like I told the parents, wait for results of how good they're getting, not how much playing time they're getting.
Yeah.
How good they're getting.
Yeah.
Now
people think, I guess parents think when you put their kid in the game, they're gonna solve all the problems. Like maybe that's
there were no problems, and then two, your kid's not any good. But it's not his fault. It's like his first time playing. He's getting better each week. But now you know what's gonna happen. The
What?
kid ain't gonna get any better because now they got their money back, and now their kid's not on the team, and it sucks because that kid was pleading with his parents, stop it.
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
I'm just hoping no Afro cameraman goes viral because I don't even remember what I said.
Yeah, I had to tell Miles back.
Yeah.
I like Miles. No need for everybody getting like. What if I get banned? Who the hell's gonna record the games? But it's like I tell parents, like I really don't want to do this.
Y'all in the truck coaching from a monitor on the parking lot.
I'm gonna just let you know right now, like
the film room.
Too much of my finances are tied up, so I'm a body slam you before James punch you 9 times out of 10. You won't see it coming. I'm too quiet, so just please keep the money safe, please.
Like, yeah, because I mean the thing is like, and what's funny is about a month to the date. This is the last time. I don't know if it's like 2 months to the date, February. We had the grand opening here at Goodfellas, and dang, now I got to make sure I get this other part of it. Grand opening at Goodfellas, and the guy behind the bar decided because I give you chances. I don't just snap, man. I've gotten way better at that. But like you only get like 3. You may not know it. I don't think sometimes people see me giving you a chance as you winning, and I'm really trying to save you from yourself. And sometimes you just need to take that win. But if that guy would have just backed up, man, I feel bad for it. But I forgot to mention the biggest, and this is one of the main reasons I only carry at home. It's Green Acre Sporting Goods. When my man taught me the concealed carry class, when I'm holding that 9 in my hand, your life, my life, everybody's life is in the grips of that. So please don't make me get popped off and have to go to this situation. But right now they're selling canik 9mm. It's a great gun. It actually shoots like a Glock. If you have it, go get the pump shotgun. They still got the AR-15s. You only get those special deals if you go in and you mention Sports Den. And Z and those guys will get you equipped with whatever it is that you need. It's not just guns though. It's all kinds of outdoor living, fishing. They got safes, fire resistant safes for, in the event that anything bad happens, protect your valuables, all of those different things. Green Acre Sporting Goods. We're going to probably go over there. We got some cool new videos that we're going to shoot and set up for that. Speaking of shooting, did you see what happened with the baby?
Yeah.
Like, why do
I
people
saw it. I
still
heard
keep
about
messing
it.
with this guy?
I don't know. That man is a marksman.
Like,
leave him alone.
And he's calm. He's clearly used to these situations. He's very calm with the 911. Did you hear about him, Miles?
Nah, he shot someone else.
Oh, guy broke into his house. He said, hey man, y'all just, and he's talking. The 911 operator is the dumbest motherfucker in the world. Is he alive? He said, man, you can hear him. Like the baby's like, send somebody to come help this man.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, he don't even deserve to die, man. I don't even want him to do no time.
This was the coldest thing the baby said. He said, I chose not to take a nigga life today. It felt great.
Right. It was like,
I guess that's a positive message.
So, right. So this is what I was trying to explain to people, because a few months ago, the baby mama's brother decided that he wanted to run up on him.
Mm-hmm.
One, there's no such thing as, after the age of 13, I believe, there is no such thing as a set up one-on-one fight.
Yeah, that's
like
tough.
You are going to get, if you're in a about that life mindset, I would never be one-on-one. I would never be by myself, especially if I'm going to talk to somebody who's surrounded by a group of people. You're going to get jumped. I don't care what you feel, this honorary code, blah, blah, blah.
You didn't even mention the most important part. If you are doing all this on bowling lane floors,
right,
with no bowling shoes on,
right, you probably should. Yeah, because this is what happened earlier. And when people were like, you would do that for yourself. No, I wouldn't. If he didn't put his hands on my sister, and my sister decided to get her club shot up by some random hood motherfuckers, hey man, I got my own problems. Now, if he's doing really, really bad by you and y'all just having these words, I'm not finna go in here and risk my freedom in life going one-on-one. Yeah. Now, if I do decide to defend my sister, it's me, some cousins, and a bunch of other people coming out here. We're going to do this. Like, we're going to do this properly, right? And when he did that, I'm like, man, does he not realize the baby like has shot like 4 motherfuckers? Like every other week, like the baby shoots somebody, drop a mixtape. And like, so I'm just like, to me, it baffles me like why people still like that's just like I go, if I was going to rob somebody, right? I'm going to go, not saying I would, but if I'm going to rob a house and I come in and I'm like, I see a license plate that says the baby, I'm like, is that DA or is that LIL? Oh, it's DA. Okay, we gotta go, bro. This is the wrong house. Sorry, Mr. Baby. Here's 20,000. Sorry for not.
Yeah.
He shoots.
At this point, they're promo.
Yeah, like you're just giving this man, like you're feeding in.
Yeah.
He's one of the few rappers now that I actually believe live their lyrics.
Yeah, that's true.
He literally is on the phone with the man, and the cop is like, he's like, is he neutralized? He's like, man, listen, he is neutralized until y'all get here. All right.
Right.
That was so gangster.
Like Snoop
That
got
was
murdered
mad.
was the case, but he didn't shoot. His bodyguard shot the guy.
Yeah.
And he just went on trial for it. The baby got real bodies. And it's almost like when I heard Floyd Mayweather talk about his bodyguards, right? His bodyguards aren't to protect him. They're actually to protect you from him. Because I don't care how big or small you are. When them paws that he got start throwing, it's some dangerous stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I just brought that up because we just so happen to be in it. But
That was funny.
my real hate o'clock is this. Is the USFL. One, I hope it gets better. I'm not one of those people that believes we need to have football year round. I love college football. I like the NFL product more. I like the off-season stuff because you're able to get, like, I'm not seeing it. It makes me, by this time, by August, the end of August, I'm gonna be ready for football to watch it. I'm not like, but right now it's just all the anticipation, new recruiting, spring ball, mini camps, OTAs, all these things. But the USFL started. Shout out to my guy, Jacksonville's own Reggie Northrop, former FSU player, certified badass, 5-0 in amateur MMA fights. Don't know why he's going back to football when MMA seems like it's a pretty steady course for him. But hey, you got to live the dream until you want. They won.
This weekend's best
Paxton Lynch's
in
ass.
the USFL.
I can see why he didn't make it in the NFL. But this one thing in particular bothered me. People get cut every day for random reasons, right? My man got cut off of a USFL team for wanting to eat pizza over a chicken salad. And it's Devon Smith, I think that's how you say his name, was with the it's with the Pittsburgh Maulers. And the video is even wilder, man. The video, the guy comes in and the coach sits him down. Coach is old. One, don't trust men. Don't trust old black men in baggy sweatpants anymore. Like baggy jeans. Like I'm talking about, he got the old school Michael Jordan ones that like really drape over the shoe. And he's like, sit down, and they give you that, and old black men get that old strong pound. Give him that good strong dap. And I knew something was bad going on then. And he was just saying, like, he's like, there is no disrespect. We'll cut you for disrespect. And the disrespect was him saying he didn't want to eat chicken salad. He wanted to eat, but he saw that there was a pizza. He said, can I have pizza? Can I have pizza instead? The guy said, no. Is that going to be a problem? And he said, there's not going to be a problem. I mean, he said it's not going to be a problem. I don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
And that's it. To come back the next day to get fucking cut for that, that's
budgets.
That's wild, man. Like, not your play.
Yeah.
Not that you had a weight restriction or a diet thing that you needed to get. And the coach didn't even listen to what his take was on the situation. He just cut him.
You never cut a girl off for what she eats? It's like,
No, not at all. Not that I think of.
Depending on what you order. Depending on what you order, I'm turned off.
Yeah, I think I know what I'm getting into. Again, this is why it's very important. Checkers on the first date is extremely important.
No, I don't want you to order the whole menu. That's
But
not
if you order the whole, okay, now you're talking
could've
about
been,
that.
You know, he's like, oh man, you eating pizza? We
Now,
don't
if
eat
you
pizza
talking
on
about
my
that-
team. We don't eat.
But there was no, like, he didn't say like you broke a. He broke the rule. He broke was allegedly being disrespectful to an employee, and there was no employee. And the problem is, who the fuck has rules like that? It's 2022. Like, what does that even mean? Like, we're all grown ass men. Like,
Yeah.
that's some high school, college shit right there. Like, and I could tell like this guy was like his first, and he tried to make it dramatic and like he was right. And you got to check out the Twitter video. Just makes it even more asinine than what I read. Oh shoot! Wait a minute, this can't be real.
What?
See, just following up with Warch. What a bunch of pussies, man.
What?
Warchant's protecting tweets. You got something wrong, man. Fuck out of here.
Oh, they hid
man.
the tweet from.
Yeah, like they're protecting tweets because people are like, when you protect your tweets, only people who can see them follow you. And so now if you block somebody and you push somebody out, it's like, it's crazy, man. Like, what a bunch of pussies. I don't, that's my bad. I'm sorry. That I apologize, but I don't. Like, because again, you got it wrong. So the fuck what? Just ride it out. Just ride it out, man. So on that note, man. With that
Miles
note,
locked himself out.
we got Miles locked himself out. We got people banging in here, trying to get in. So we're gonna call that a show. Basically, just remember this, man. Always remember, guys, no matter what happens, no matter how bad it gets, it's always get your girl back season. So let's see. This is Big Games BS or Big Games Big Show. Make sure you check out thehumidor.com. Check out Green Acre Sporting Goods, and come check us out soon for a live show here at Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. Oh, YouTube. Continue to press the YouTube. Even if you listen to this show on your streaming services, go click the YouTube. Tell somebody else to click it. We're almost at 4,000 watched hours. We got to probably be there, be close as hell to it. But check those out. Make sure you get our likes up, get our streams up. Y'all have a good one.
For that thing, it was real quick.
The chip reader?
Yeah. No, not the chip reader. The
Which one?
the canvas
Canva
for that thumbnail.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
was
dope,
fast.
bro. That's how I make all my stuff, pretty much.
But every time, I don't care that I love that picture of James back there. I did that so long ago, and that's
What
like
picture?
one of my favorite things.
The one that's on there right now.
Oh yeah. I love how you add the
Also,
the
that
different
thumbnail's dope.
the different what did you use to make those?
Photoshop.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't done those in a while. I wanted to do.
My camera's still on, Miles.
You did. It's not record. We're not.
Better run this stuff home.